All right, in this video, I'm going to be showing you all of the essential items that I got to make a emergency kit, a bug out kit, 72-hour kit, whatever you'd like to call it. This is my personal one that I have right here, and I'm showing you how to recreate it with a lot of the easy essentials today. And let me bring you in close and tell you that I got all of this stuff from just 4 stores. Okay, so this is the backpack. We're going to start with the most expensive item here. It's the backpack. The 4 stores that we went to was Big 5, Home Depot, Dollar Tree, and Harbor Freight. So from Big 5, we got 6 total items. We got the backpack, which cost 80 bucks. And I thought it was worthwhile spending that much money on this backpack because there's a ton of pockets on it. It's a really big backpack. It has good straps. So if you're gonna have to walk a long distance, it's gonna be a good backpack. I also, one of the goals with this whole project was to go a less expensive route. So are there better backpacks you could use for this? Yes, you could spend $300 just on the backpack, but I wanted to get the whole kit for less than $300. So this is a 50-liter backpack from Big 5. The next expensive item from Big 5 is this stove backpacking kit. It's the stove, the fuel, and the cook set. So what I like about it is it has the pot and pan that you'll use inside the box. And this whole thing costs 55 bucks. Let me show you what it's gonna look like here. It's all kind of contained into one thing. So it's perfect for a single person to use, or a couple of people to use. It's not like it's going to last forever, but in a pinch, if you need something, this will be something that's really useful. So inside here is where the stove's going to be. I like this stove because it has an igniter on it, so you don't have to have matches for it. So it's right here, that igniter. So you'll just put it on this, these fold out, and then you have your pot to go on top of it, or your cup. So this isn't like my favorite brand. The one I have in my personal one is a little bit different brand, one that I like a little bit better. But again, the point of this was to have go to 4 stores and get as much as possible from those 4 stores. I didn't buy any of this stuff on Amazon. Could I have bought it for cheaper on Amazon? Probably. But I wanted to show that you could go to 4 stores and get a lot of things that are really useful for your emergency kit. Okay, so let's put this away now. So with those 2 items right there, that's over $100. But don't feel like you have to start with this. You might work yourself up to this, or start with something else. But I would recommend the backpack for sure. Okay, so now that we have the 2 most expensive items out of the way. Oh, by the way, one other thing with these. This is the handle. That's how you can hold it. Okay, so let's set that to the side. The other things that I got from Big 5 are right here. I got this emergency kit. Is it the best emergency kit out there? No, it's just a standard one. It has 85 pieces in it. Here's a list of what all of them are. But what I like about this kit is the case, and it's big enough that you can shove more things in it. And that's actually what we're going to do. As you'll see, there's still a lot of space inside this. So as we go through other items, we're going to add it to this first aid kit. So that's why I got one about this size. You can buy smaller ones, but then you can't stuff them full of things. So, all right, so let's unbutton this. And we'll set this to the side. And again, the first aid kit costs $25. We'll use that later. Okay, got the flint striker. That costs $8. This so you can start a fire if you don't have any matches or a lighter. This is really just going to be a backup item, as you'll see later, where we'll have both matches and a lighter in this kit. But it's always good to have it. It's not that heavy and it's not that expensive. And fire is a necessity if you're out in nature. Set that to the side. Got some fish hooks, cost $2.30 for 6 fish hooks. Nothing special here, but I'm going to leave it in this case. And then we have the survival whistle that has the compass on it, the whistle, and there's also a way to store matches, and it costs $5. So, it's kind of like a 3-in-1. I think it's worth the price for $5. Might be a little bulky for some people, but pretty simply open this up, shove some matches in here. What I like about this is it has a match striker on the outside right there. So there are going to be a few items that I'm going to talk about that I did not buy from the stores, like these matches right here. I already had these matches. So the exact price on this kit isn't going to be totally accurate because I already had some things in my house. But I'll make sure to tell you which ones those are. All right, so let's set that to the side. That's everything that I got from Big 5. So I got 6 items from Big 5. The total that I spent at Big 5 was $185.75, which is a lot, but for only 6 items, but they're core essential items. Okay, so now we're going to go to Home Depot, which I only got 3 items from Home Depot. I bought rope, stakes, and paracord. This rope costs like $6, and it has really good strength. It's not too thick, and you get 100 feet of it. And so I just leave it like this and just shove it right in the bag. We'll take off the sticker or the tag. But for $6 for this rope, I mean, you can cut it shorter. You can use this for a ton of different things. Totally worth it. And I just stand it up in the bag right there in the biggest pocket. All right, so I also got stakes from Home Depot. Originally, I was looking for some plastic stakes, like the yellow tent stakes. They didn't have any at my Home Depot, and the gardening ones were like $10 for the plastic ones. So I got these metal ones for $6, and there's how many of them? There's 8 of them here. You don't necessarily need 8 stakes. You might only need 4, but these are not that heavy. They're very light. But you'll use them for the tarp because you're going to need it for your temporary shelter if you need a shelter, or if you need to keep food up in a tree or something and you can't tie it off to that tree. And so there's a variety of uses for the stakes. So this is pretty good price for the stakes. And then I also got paracord. This is 50 feet of paracord for $6.42. So is it the best paracord that's out there? No, it's not 550, but will it work? And is it better than most other rope this size? Yep, it absolutely is. So we're not going to open this right now any farther and cut it to the length, but eventually you want to cut it to the right length that you want for your tarp, for your shelter. That way you already have it ready, and in an emergency, if it starts raining, you can quickly get your shelter up. All right, so let's set the stakes to the side and the rope there. All right, so at Home Depot, I spent $19.49. So only 3 items from there and 6 items from Big 5. Now let's move to Harbor Freight, which is 5 items. The first item I got from Harbor Freight was a tarp. This tarp is 9 mil thick, which is substantially thicker than the cheapest tarps you can get. You can get some out there that are like only 4. So I wanted a tarp that's going to be thick enough to be durable, but it's 7 by 9, so big enough that you can lay underneath it and have your gear under it, and you're not going to get wet. It only costs $9, so a really good price for that. And the tarp, this size of tarp, fits perfectly in this lowest zipped section here. So that's where I store my tarp. There are a bunch of pockets in here, but I just use the tarp and the stakes in this lowest pocket. So we'll get to that. So the tarp there. Okay, I'm not going to throw this bag away yet. We'll throw that one away, but I'm going to use part of this bag for another portion, so we'll hang on to that. The other things that I got from Harbor Freight are right here. I got this cheap knife, cost $8. It's a 3-inch blade for a pocket knife. I don't even know this brand, Gordon. I guarantee it's not a great brand. But if you don't have a knife, your kit needs a pocket knife. This one costs $8. It's a great way to start. So don't have too high expectations for it. You can probably have your own knife. That's great. You can use it. But for those that don't have their own, I wanted to give an example of like, how cheap you can get a knife. So let's open this up. Yeah, I'm just curious to see how sharp this is. Oh, it's actually sharper than I was expecting, but it probably is not made from very durable steel, so it'll probably get dull pretty fast. All right, I got safety glasses for $1. Yeah, 98 cents. It's good to have safety glasses. You don't want to have problems with your eye. If you fell in a tree or something in the wild, you don't want to have a stick or something fall in your eye. Really lightweight, so it's not a lot to add, and it only costs $1. Okay, you also want some work gloves to protect your hands if you're outside of nature for a long time. You don't want to get cuts and sores or infections on your hands. And work gloves like this, really inexpensive, $6. And you got a pair of, what are these, pigskin? Yeah, pigskin leather. I do recommend having some leather gloves, not like some mechanic or gardening gloves, just because leather gloves are going to hold up best out of nature. Then I also got this pole saw. It's a 10-inch pole saw, costs $8. You can use it, it's a multi-purpose. You can use it for wood or PVC, a lot of different things. But it's not like the best pole saw. Is it amazing? No, it's not. But is it light? And will it work in an emergency if you need to, cut down some trees or, make some firewood or something? Yes, it would work. So it's just a great start. A lot of the stuff in this kit is just to get people ideas of what to put in the kit and where to start. If you don't know where to start with this. And then you can do some research and say, hey, I found this other one on Amazon. It's made specifically for outdoors, and it's only $5 more. Get that one. That sounds great. Okay, so those are all the items that I got from Harbor Freight, 5 items. I paid $33.86 for those items. The last store that I went to was the Dollar Tree, and that's what all the rest of these items here are from. I'm going to save this bag and come back to that. But all these other items are at the Dollar Tree. So let's start over here. So all this stuff is $1.25 each. Crazy glue, this is super glue. I really like this. There's a lot of different reasons for it, but I think the main reason that I recommend this is for first aid. If you get a cut or something and you need to quickly seal it, just pinch it closed and put super glue on it and it'll work fine. If your heels crack or something, you can use super glue. So to close your skin, it's basically what doctors use anyway. So I recommend putting this just directly in your first aid kit. That's what we'll do here. All right, chapstick. This is 30 SPF. Is it needed? Like absolutely necessary? No, but is it nice to have some just in case? Yeah, if you're dehydrated or something and you don't have a water source, and this helps keep your lips from getting sunburned more. And so, a couple of the uses you could use for that. All right, carabiners. 2 carabiners you can just put on the outside of your backpack. These are cheap carabiners. Don't expect high quality if you're getting 2 of them for $1. But you can just put these on the outside of the backpack. Just show you that right here. Like that. Let's connect the other one to it. And then this allows you to hang stuff from your bag while you're walking or something. All right, the next thing we have here is your toiletries. So your toothbrush, toothpaste. This is for $1, not bad. You can keep it in this if you'd like. I'm going to toss it just to save space. And then this is to, how's that open? This is for here to kind of keep the brush a little more sanitary. So I recommend having a separate bag for your toiletries and not put it in your first aid kit. So we're going to set this to the side for a minute. Okay, here we have waterproof tape. So if you need to tape your bandages and wrap it around your arm or something, we'll use this for. It's kind of like athletic tape. This is going in the first aid kit. We have some duct tape. There's lots of different colors you can get. I chose red. You may want something that blends in more like, ammo or black or brown or green or something. But I wanted red because then you can use it in an emergency situation to tell people, hey, look, I'm here. Red's going to catch people's eyes and they're going to say, hey, I need to look over here. So if you're lost, this will be a lot more useful than some green duct tape. Next thing here are some zip ties. I got 2 different lengths. This is more like the regular length, and these are the longer ones. You could use these for a variety of purposes. You could use them if you have big game, you need to hang the big game up to while you're taking the skin off of it or whatever, keep it out of reach. You can also use it to zip tie temporary shelter together. So a lot of uses for it, and it's really cheap. Each of these are $1.25 each. I'm going to leave these in the bags for now. All right, next couple of things, some feminine products. Got some maxi pads here. This is primarily for wound care because everyone's going to know that this is, if you're in a long-term survival situation, this isn't going to help. But if you get cut or something, you go by a tree and you have a big wound or something, you can cover this, tape it up, and it's going to be a quick, easy fix. So that's going in the first aid kit. And obviously this first aid kit isn't going to be able to hold all of this stuff. So you might have to get a bigger kit or just choose, how many you're going to have. I also got some super tampons. I just got the biggest size that they had at the dollar store. Again, for wound care, if you get shot and you just shove it in your bullet wound, well, there you go. Okay, next thing here, I got this travel size for containers, and you can put this, you can put in your conditioner, your shampoo, and your body wash in these. And one recommendation I have, I got this conditioner, it costs $1. Oops, I got it all over me just barely. Choose your scent or flavor or whatever. But one recommendation I have with this, once you fill it up, before you put the lid on, put something else over this. So that's why I saved the bag earlier from the tarp. We're just going to cut a small square. That size. Just enough to cover this, and then we put that on first. What that's going to do is keep this from spilling. You don't want to have the thing jostling around in your bag and then it accidentally open and then all of your conditioner is gone and it ruin all of your stuff in your bag. So super simple, super cheap, really easy to do. So you'll do that for all of your other items. I'll just cut the 3 other squares right now. And then you can just fill in the body wash and the shampoo at another time. But you may be thinking, well, why do I need body wash and shampoo if I'm going to be out in the nature or something, or in a survival situation? Well, a lot of emergencies don't require long-term relocation. You may have an emergency in your city and you just need to go somewhere else temporarily, and you may not have to build your own shelter or something. You may be like in a church or in a stadium or something, bunked up with a lot of other people, and you just need something to keep clean. So having just a little bit of shampoo and here's some Irish Spring soap, having some soap with you would go a long way. For a survival situation, it's not necessary for long-term survival, but if the crisis is only a couple of weeks, you're going to like having these. These 2 bars of soap, again, from Dollar Tree, cost a little over $1.25 for them both. You may only put 1 in your kit. So I'm going to set that one to the side. Okay, here's the sewing kit. The sewing kit, I think I wrote down how many pieces are in it. There are 52 pieces in the sewing kit, but don't get too excited because it's all going to be really cheap stuff. And we're talking about a sewing kit from the dollar store. So, this is just a start, but scissors, some different colors, threads, a ton of different little needles, and safety pins and buttons. So not an amazing kit, but at least it's something to start. All right, let's move some of this stuff to the side. All right, some triple antibiotic. There's probably some inside the emergency kit, but I like getting a bigger piece. Not that it's huge, but that'll go in the first aid kit. And then some elastic bandage, like an ace bandage. That way you can, if you have a roll your ankle or something, you'll be able to support it like that. All right, next, some deodorant. This is just like the small deodorant. Again, this isn't for if you're out in the wild for 3 months. This is for if there's a natural disaster and you just need to go somewhere for a couple weeks and you're out of your house. This will last you for the couple of weeks. So what I would do is I'd put this in a separate bag with your toiletries. So I like using Ziploc bags because they're cheap and they work and they're light. And you can like saw down or cut your toothbrush if it's too big. Okay, so I keep all this in a separate bag, not put in the first aid kit. Okay, the next item here is a lighter. It doesn't matter what kind of lighter. I just, this one's Crocs handy if you've never heard of it before. Let's see if it works. We'll test it and see if it works here. Okay, looks like it works. So that's good. But what I do is I actually take duct tape and I put duct tape around the handle of the lighter. Do that for a couple of reasons. One, it might make it a little more ergonomical in your hand. But two, it gives you an easy place to find duct tape. Because this whole roll is kind of bulky. Because all of this is just empty space, empty air. So I'll just put it on here. It might be loud. Don't want it to fold on itself though. If it does, well, it is what it is. Okay, so that's enough duct tape there now that if I'm out somewhere and I have this lighter in my pocket, and let's say I get cut or something, I need to close a wound, I have the duct tape with me all the time, and I'm not going to lose the lighter, and it's still ergonomic. So you can put the duct tape on other things, but I like putting on the lighter. That way I always know where I have some. Okay, the last few items I have over here, some ibuprofen or some pain medication. I like how small it is. There's 40 tablets in here, and you can put that in your first aid kit. And then I got some hand sanitizer. Say you're dressing an animal and you don't have any water close by. Well, this is a good thing to have. You might like it. And then I recommend doing the same thing with the plastic. Take a little bit of plastic, cut a little square, put that over the top here so it doesn't open. Lose everything. Okay, and then I just got this pack of bandages. It's a few different sizes. There's 110 of them. So there are a variety of uses for different sizes, different cuts and everything. So I would take them all out of this. You don't need this box, and put it in the first aid kit. So I'm going to let's put some stuff in the first aid kit. We're not going to try and cram everything in here, but let's see what we can get in it. So put the Band-Aids right there. Now this first aid kit has over 200 items just in the first aid kit, because 110 from the Band-Aids, 85 from the kit itself, and now we're putting in more than 20, 40 right there just with the ibuprofen. And you can take these boxes and just throw these boxes away too. These boxes take up a lot of space and they're not necessary. This is for butterfly Band-Aids right here, which are nice to have. But that opened up some more room for us right there. Okay, so let's just see if this thing closes. Let's see if I have any pads in there. I might want to put any pads in. Okay, let's put a couple of pads in. Shove it in there. See what happens. You don't have to have everything in one first aid kit, but I'm just showing you that how easy it is to make like this first aid kit that cost 25 bucks originally, add a few $1 store items into it, and now it's a way more robust first aid kit. And there you go. Okay, so we'll set the first aid kit to the side. Now let's get to this bag that I have. This is just an assortment of things that I already had at my house that I had in my other first aid or my emergency kit that I think are useful. So have a few Ziploc bags, some hand warmers. If you lose your body temperature, your core temperature goes down, you're going to want a couple of those. Those are for like emergency use only. Here I have some earplugs. I have 4 earplugs. And then on this, I have electrical tape. And then I have fishing line. And then this is it's a brass wire that I use for like trapping animals. So if you need to make a snare or something, you can use a snare. And this is actually, wasn't supposed to come off like that. Kind of made a hole, but I just wrapped it around here. And now I have 3 different things just on a spool. The wood's not required, but just easy to handle. So, okay, here, this is some rope you'd use for like a plumb bob. And this is, pretty strong rope and it's really thin. So you can use this for your shelter if you'd like, so you don't have to use the paracord. But I don't use this whole spool. I just cut off, like 20 feet or so and use that. I have some nitrile gloves, just to be sterile if you're working on a wound. And then I also have some salt. This is just salt from, like the iodized salt container. Put it in a smaller container that was alum, looks like. And then I did the same thing to make sure that if this opens, it doesn't spill out. But salt gives you the electrolytes. You can put it directly in water. It's going to taste great, no, but is it going to give you the electrolytes you need in dehydrated or in a situation where you need electrolytes? Yes, it will. So I added these items. They're not expensive by any means. They just weren't at the stores that I was looking at. So, all right, so I'll put those back in here. Now let's put the stuff in the backpack here. So I'm going to start with the tarp just because it's a little bit hard to get in there, and it'll be easy to start with that and then add the other stuff later. So start with one corner. This other side, get this other corner in there. And again, this is a 7 by 9 foot tarp. You're not necessarily going to need this big of a tarp, but I'm a big person, so I want a big tarp. Okay, so you can see this bag opens really wide. I could just unbuckle that, just folds down really nice. And then there's also straps back here on the inside to strap things down different directions. And on this side, you can put a hydration. So if you have like a Camelback or something, put a Camelback in there and have the straw. And the straw comes out right here. Or on this side, either side's fine. Okay, so let's set that in there. I like putting the pull saw in, or the big metal pieces along the back. Put these zip ties there. Now the container, depending on the size of the container, you may be able to fit it in the pocket on the side. I haven't tested to see if this one fits. Looks like it will. So that's nice. Okay, and then let's do the first aid kit here. Let's just kind of throw, some of this other stuff I'm going to put up in this other pocket. So there's a pocket here, and then there's also another pocket here. So you can choose which one you want to put stuff in. I'm going to leave this one empty for now because I don't have all the stuff filled in. But in here, there's different like kind of folders, I guess, of pockets. You can use lots of different ones there. So we're going to throw most of the rest of the stuff right in here. I put my hooks inside my first aid kit and my personal one. My first aid kit's a little bit bigger and has more than just first aid, but that's where I put it. And let's put the needle set. This is really cheap. Looks like it's going to open. So let's just use one of our Ziploc bags and store it in there. That way, if it explodes, at least it's all going to be contained in here. And I'm sorry I'm sweating. It is hot in the garage today. Okay, for the knife, I'm going to put the knife in this smaller spot so I know exactly where the knife is and it's the only item in there. Okay. Let's put this here. Duct tape we'll put in here. The lighter we'll put there. Oh, the soap I was going to put with our other personal hygiene items. You can take it out of the box if you'd like. If you have like some old, I don't remember what it's called, like pantyhose or something, you can put the bar soap directly in that, and then you can tie it around a tree or something and easily wash your hands through the pantyhose. The soap will come through that. Okay, I'm going to zip this up a little bit, make it a little more manageable so it stands up on its own. Okay, we didn't have room for all of these for this one, and that's all right. Oh yeah, and then the steaks. The steaks I usually put in the tarp when I roll it up. For now, I guess we'll just set them right there. And you might not need all steaks in your kit. Paracords right there. Okay, so there you have it. Like I said, I like this bag because look how much space there is still. There's still a ton of space. Now we don't have any food in this, so you're going to want to put some food in here. Other things we don't have any water, so you're going to put some water, or at least some water containers, like some water bottles. Let me show you a few other things that I have in my personal one that I think are necessary, but are not part of this bag. And first, let me tell you, let's go over the total pieces and prices that I put in this. So this whole bag, with everything in it, costs $266.93. And you can see that's between all the 4 stores, how many items at each store, and it's broken down here. And the backpack by itself, with the backpack, stove, and first aid kit, that was $160. So all the rest of the items were $100. So, I mean, I think that's very affordable for, I mean, they're not like super high quality stuff, but it's enough to get started. And if you don't have anything yet, this is the way you should start with. So the total pieces, 391 pieces in this kit. That's everything that I've shown today, and this is kind of the breakdown of it. Now, 391, yeah, that sounds like a lot because half of them are Band-Aids. And I get that. I'm not trying to say, hey, this is how many items you can have. But there are a lot of useful items that are in this, and again, not super expensive. You can go out and start small, go to the dollar store, get a few items to start. Okay, so now with that to the side, let me show you a few other things that I have in mine that I think are useful that I don't have in this kit right here. All right, so a poncho, you can get a poncho for cheap. Just go to Walmart, it costs like $2. Same thing with the solar blanket, like the reflective blanket, a couple of bucks, super light, totally worth putting in there. I have some all-weather paper, has some measurements on the side, but the more important thing is if you need to make notes or something, this paper is waterproof, so you don't have to worry about rain, or you can write in the rain and it's fine. And then I also have a pencil that I took from one of my kids. It looks like a Halloween pencil, and I just broke it down and then sharpened it. So I store it right there. So this is nice. I got this off of Amazon. I don't remember where I got this, probably from the dollar store. But if you don't have toilet paper, this is going to be a great solution for you. Just remember, don't put your ketchup in it after. But this is a great way that you can stay sanitary out in the wild over a long period of time, and super light. Extra pair of wool socks. That way you can have your feet warm and dry. That's really important. These are the water bottles I recommend. They're Smart Water. Nothing special about the water inside, but I like that the size of the cap works really well with a lot of filter systems. And it's a big enough water bottle that I think it's worth it because it's 33.8 fluid ounces. I don't like the ones that are only 20 ounces water bottles. You need too many of them. So I carry a couple of these in my bag. And then this is the water filter that I use. It's the Platypus. I'm not sponsored by any of this stuff, but I do like the Platypus water filtration system. It's gravity fed, and it's pretty simple. You have one bag you fill the water in, and then you have the filter, which is right here, the filter, and then it filters into the other bag, and it fills up the 4 liters in just a couple of minutes, like 5 minutes or less, and you have 4 liters, and there's no pumping. So I really like these bags. I think I got this one off of Amazon a few years ago, but I've had nothing but good things to say about Platypus ones. So it's more important to have a filtration system and a container that's empty than it is to have a container of water that's full and no way to get clean, fresh water. So make sure you have some sort of filter system. Platypus makes a smaller one. I think I got the larger version, just because I've used this on like campouts and everything, and I'm getting water for 10, 15 people, not just myself. So I opted for the bigger one. Another item that I have here, this is Crystal Light. It's like flavoring, for your water. But the important thing on here is it comes with caffeine. So I'm not a huge caffeine drinker, but if I'm out and I'm hiking and I need to go a few more miles and I need the energy, I'd rather have something that can get me there. So that's what I use this for. So, and there's one last item. I got this off of Amazon. I want to say it was like $20. It's a radio that is solar panel on it, so it can charge out in the wild in the sun. And then you can charge it by crank. So it's crank radio, and it has a flashlight on it too, which battery's dead. So let's see if we can crank it up. And okay, so there's a little bit of a light there. So and then the other thing this has on it is a way to charge your devices. So if you need to charge your cell phone or whatever you have, this is a charger, radio, and a flashlight, and it's like $20 on Amazon. So I think it's totally worth it. So that's what I have in my emergency kit. There are a few other items we're not going over today, but the whole point of this video is to show you that you can get started, and you can go to the stores that are around you, and you can get items, and you can make a pretty decent kit for pretty cheap. Now, I'm not a survival specialist. I don't have any like specialized training in this. So I know there's probably going to be people that say, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And that's kind of true. I'm just do-it-yourselfer. I just have experience hunting and being out in the woods, and just watched a few other videos and say, hey, this is what I think makes sense. So this is what I've done. So I hope the video's been useful. I hope you found giving you some ideas on things you can do. If you have questions or comments or anything, please just comment on it. I love to respond to you and support you however I can. So thanks for checking the video out. Appreciate it.